It was a long summer, but the calendar has turned to October. There's a crispness in the air, and there are sounds of pucks dropping everywhere. Preseason NHL is underway, and we are here to talk about it. We are back, baby. The neutral zone is back. There is NHL hockey later this week. Zach and I are going to break it all down tonight. The Eastern Conference, the Metro Division, the Atlantic Division. Who's good? Who's not so good? Who are we going to be seeing at the end of the season? Who's going to be wishing it was 2 or 3 years down the road? Lots to discuss, lots to dissect. Plus, we'll see what other fun things we can come up with along the way. We've got some new nicknames in the PWHL. We've got some fun stories, all kinds of craziness. Our usual brand of hockey silliness. All that plus more coming up right now. Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome back into the neutral zone. Adam and Zach are back. Zach, how are you doing, sir?
Fantastic, sir. How are you?
I've survived to October. I will take that as a win.
Good.
We'll leave it at that.
Right.
But we have actual honesty. There is actual, not preseason, there is NHL hockey this week.
Ooh.
There's real, honest to goodness hockey that we get to dissect later this week. It's going to be so much fun.
We have survived the drought.
We have it. You know, our last show was less than 3 months ago, but it feels like it was a lot longer ago than that.
Right.
So lots to get through, lots to get going through. We are going to be diving into the entire Eastern Conference tonight. So this was supposed to be the show last week, but full disclosure, apparently my son decided that 11 o'clock was the ideal bedtime last week, and I was not doing a show after that. I did nope. After that, I was just done. I got him to, I rocked him for 2.5 hours and then collapsed on the bed. So we get to do it this week instead.
Hey, we're back.
We are back, and we are ready to rock and roll. We've got help from Jen. Also, she's helping us out in the producer role tonight, which is much needed because my goodness, there are going to be so many graphics flying up on your screen tonight as we do the show. But before we get into all that, of course, we need to have a quick word from our sponsors, and then it's hockey season. We can have some fun. This is the Neutral Zone. We will be right back after this. Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the neutral zone. We are back. We are live. Episode 1, October 1st. The calendar turns to October and hockey season has returned. Zach, how was your summer? First of all, we'll real quick do that and then we'll dive into some of the hockey talk.
It's been great. Flew by for sure. One play followed by another play, and now I'm in the third play.
I was going to say you did what two plays at least, right? Young Frankenstein. How did that one go?
Oh, fantastic! It was sold out like every night.
Wonderful.
Epic. We had one kid that played the lead, and you know, after seeing him, you know, he's got the short hair, like just like Gene Wilder, and the mustache, like. I was like, well, who else would they get to play him? Of course, he's the perfect role for it. Duh.
No adjustment necessary. Just got to learn the lines.
Yeah, exactly. And
there you go. Outstanding.
Yeah. We did that one for 4 weekends. And then Valparaiso just started it last weekend. So we went to go see their rendition of it. Ours was the London, theirs is the Broadway. So there's slight differences.
Okay, so some subtle changes in spellings and things like that.
Yeah, and some of the jokes were better in ours.
Well, yeah, naturally.
Well, and we kept comparing and contrasting. Well, our character's better in this one, and our Inga's better, and our Igor's better, and their monster was better. He was much more convincing as a monster. Yeah, exactly.
Well, awesome.
How about you?
Oh, my daughter kept us running everywhere. My daughter is now significantly logged more ice time than I have. She's back into skating again. She's actually going to be taking part in a Blackhawks learn hockey camp here in about a week and a half. So
cool.
she has just dove straight into the wonderful world of skating. And we've talked about, do you want to do more figure skating, or do you think hockey? Dad, I pointed out to her when we were watching the Olympics, we started talking about Winter Olympics. I said, there's skating in Winter Olympics. Oh, really, Dad? What kinds? Well, there's figure skating, there's speed skating, there's ice dancing, and there's hockey. There's hockey. That's what I'm going to do when I'm in the Olympics, Dad.
Oh,
so that's just what it is. I have to mark it down. 12 years from now, wherever those Olympics are, I have to make room in the calendar because my daughter is going to be playing Olympic hockey somewhere.
right.
So that's what we're planning for.
Love it.
That's what we're planning for. Besides, going to the zoo and all those other kinds of fun summer activities. But she is very much into the world of skating and getting into the world of hockey. So we are ready to roll. So
you are raising her right.
we're trying anyway. We're trying. So, let's dive right into it then, shall we? You wanted to start things off with the Atlantic Division. I know that is a division that is near and dear to your heart because there's that winged wheel out there. But there is also, Mikey Two Guns is in the chat room tonight, and his Bruins are in that division. So, we may as well have some fun and talk about that Atlantic Division.
Yeah, for sure. You pull up his comment again. What did he say? I didn't catch it.
Oh, he is ready to go. He thinks some people might be sleeping on those Bruins. I don't know. We'll see. That's a strong team out there in Boston.
Yeah. Well, here. So first off, let's do a recap. So, if you've been in a coma the last couple of months, Florida did win the Stanley Cup. This is 2 years in a row that they've made the finals. They lost to Vegas last year, and they won. Edmonton. They beat Edmonton this year to win the whole thing, win the whole enchilada. So let's see here. The way everything finished out last year. So they were number one, obviously. Boston was number 2. I think Toronto was 3. Well, we'll go one by one. We'll get there. But yes, so they won the cup. Let's see. This article I'm reading gives them a B- on ones that they've added and people that they've lost in the meantime in their off-season transactions and such. Right. Yeah. They're getting 57 goal scorer Sam Reinhart back. He signed to a team-friendly 86 or 8.625 million cap hit. That was crucial, but there were still some key departures, including Victor Tarasenko, defenseman Brandon Montour, Oliver Ekman-Larsson as well, and backup goalie Anthony Stolarz. Reuniting defenseman Nate Schmidt with coach Paul Maurice was a good move. So they are, they wound up first in the division. They won the Stanley Cup. Their actual finishing record was 52-24-6 with 110 points. My prediction for them, don't mess with perfection. I mean, I've got them number 1 again this year.
So you think
in the division?
In the division. So nobody's overtaking Florida this year, at least, because this would be 3 years in a row for them making the playoffs. They, of course, snuck in at the it took them basically an entire season to get hot a couple of years ago, and then last year they were the team. Is there gonna be any kind of a hangover for them, do you think? Is it gonna take a month or so to get their legs back under them? Because they played, not only did they make it all the way to the cup final didn't get over until the final week of June. That was the latest cup final we've ever had. Do you think it's going to take, is there going to be some lethargy to start the season for them?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Like you said, it's the latest the cup finals have ever gone, in a normal, non-COVID or whatever year. especially just because of the geography. We've never had a team further north play a team further south.
Oh, yeah. Not only that, all the travel they had to do between basically Miami and Edmonton night after night after night there.
You'd think they were joining the Big Ten or something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a lull at least the first month or so.
Who you got next then? Who do you like next in the Atlantic?
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see here.
While Zach's pulling that up, I would be remiss. I realize I forgot to mention in the beginning. Thank you first of all to everybody that is logged in and watching us live on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. You can also follow along with the show. We are on Twitter at IESR Neutral Zone. You can also follow me personally. I am at Adam_Karnick. Zach is at the Pupless. We do this every Tuesday night, 9:00 Eastern, 6:00 Pacific. Figure it out for whichever time zone you are, if it's not one of those. But we are always here and always talking hockey during the season. So glad that you are here with us.
Yes. Number 2, I got Tampa Bay. Last year they finished 4th, and the record was 45-29-8, and they had 98 points. It will. Oh gosh, yeah, for sure. Biggest change is losing Steven Stamkos to the Nashville Predators, and following and fellow 2-time Cup winner Mikhail Sergachev will also not be in Tampa. Jake Gensel can make up for Stamkos' offense, though he doesn't have the same power play numbers. They reacquired defenseman Ryan McDonough with the helps of the team's 5-on-5 play. Or it will help with the team's 5-on-5 play, and JJ Moser will provide some offense from the blue line. So I have them going second.
Yeah, losing Stamkos is, of course, a huge blow. I mean, he's been, my gosh, he's been with Tampa. It feels like he's been with Tampa forever. That
Right.
beard has just been there in perpetuity. That it's always been there as part of the Bolts.
Yeah. Yeah, the Nashville won huge at the free agency, getting Stamkos and I forget who else, but oh my gosh, they could be back into contention real quick.
Yeah, we'll be breaking that down next week. The Central Division's a weird division this year.
Marchessault? They got somebody from Vegas. Was it Marchessault, I think maybe?
It sounds right. Yes.
Okay. But it's going to be a weird division. Why do you say that?
Well, you've got 3 teams at the top, and then everybody else could finish anywhere.
Right.
It's here, anywhere. So
Even
a little bit like the Metro, as we'll talk about a little bit later. It's kind of a similar deal with that tonight. The more inland divisions are definitely just up for grabs this season. Less consistency going on there this year.
Yeah, like you said, you never know where they're going to wind up. I mean, even they could wind up in a state that's never had an NHL franchise even.
Yeah. Again, that's talk for teasers for next week. Teasers.
Yes.
So
yes. Third, if I can get my cat off things.
Wow.
Right. Third, I think I had Boston third. Let me see here.
That makes sense for Boston. You know, that's
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That's a good spot. That's a decent seeming spot for the Bruins.
Yeah. So they were second this past year, 47, 20, and 15 with 109 points. I've got them going third this year. Spent a lot of money to land free agent center Elias Lindholm and defenseman Nikita Zadorov. Lindholm gives them much needed two-way number 1 center. Zadorov is gritty and showed a scoring touch after his trade to Vancouver. Bruins also, they broke up the friendliest goalie duo in the NHL by trading former Vezina Trophy winner Linus Allmark to the Senators. Number one goalie Swayman, still unsigned, will be backed up by Joonas Korpisalo, formerly the Blues, who came the other way in the Allmark trade. Why is Swayman not re-signed yet? I mean, should fans be worried? Money? Well, yeah.
Yes,
Money
yes,
talks.
yes. Fans should absolutely be worried when you've got one of the better goalies in all of the NHL that is
No more
not
goalie hugs.
that is no more goalie hug. That's okay. They're going to trade goalie hugs for goalie fights. That's what we're going to see this year. We're going to see a good old-fashioned throwdown between Swayman and somebody this year. But yeah, I mean with Swayman not signed, that is a concern. You know, the Bruins are in a championship window, and when you take out a goalie the caliber of Swayman because he's asking too much or the team's being too cheap or some combination therein, all the signs there, it's a problem. It is definitely a concern for the Bruins. Now, as in with any sport, deadlines make deals. We'll see how things go. The Bruins start their season. Let's see. Their first game is officially, they start Monday, right? As I'm frantically pulling up my schedule here. I believe their first game is it Tuesday? It is Tuesday. I believe is their first game of the year. So they've got time, but it's still, I mean, it's coming up here quick, boys. You don't want to be messing around with that. So deadlines are perfect for making deals. That's when I think we'll see something. We'll see something in time for the start of the season, but they're going to go right up to it. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. Well, this article I was reading was from last week, and then to find out that they still don't have him signed, like, oh wow, yeah, that's definitely a concern.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If he doesn't sign, does that let's say that it's a lengthy holdout, how far down does that drop Boston in your opinion?
Oh wow. Maybe 5th or 6th, 7th. I mean, I don't think they'd be last in the division. I think like you still got like Ottawa, for instance.
You understand though why there is concern in the land of the clam chowder.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like Korpisalo was like good in his Columbus days, but I mean, yeah, I haven't heard his name in a couple of years. So
he's a nice backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just it. Some people are aren't meant to be head coaches. They're meant to be assistant coaches. They're not meant to be the starting quarterback. They're meant to be the backup. And that's might be his role.
But when it's you've got to be the starter. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Right.
Here we go, boys. Here we go, boys. Follow me.
Yeah. But yeah, this guy gave Boston a B on the offseason.
Solid. The Boston Bruins get a B. That poetry and writing there. Well done. Well done. Well done, sir. You earned your English major.
Right. I think. Yeah, I don't think that there was any choice in that. Like you say, I think the only choice was, does he get a B+ or a B-?
Exactly. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Next.
Here we go. Here's my Red Wings. They were 5th last year. I've got them going 4th this year. They were 41, 32, and 9 with 91 points. They just barely missed the playoffs. They were edged out by Washington, but the way Washington ended things, or things ended for Washington, I'm sure it would have been the same way had we got in instead of them. Yeah, sure it wouldn't have been much different. They re-signed Patrick Kane for another year.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to just hold in that pain for the rest of the season. I'm sorry.
Are you trying to be the monster from Frankenstein?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Don't mind me as I just break every pen. I'm gonna have a fresh pencil on set every night just to snap it every time you bring that up.
Hey, I mean, this was already in the article, but I mean, I had to bring it up.
Yeah. I still love you. I still love you, Kaner. I still do.
So they got Kane for another year. Added 2-time Cup winner Vladimir Tarasenko, as aforementioned. I think I called him Victor. Apologies. Vladimir Tarasenko won the Cup with St. Louis back in 19 and with Florida this most recent year. Kane had 20 goals in 50 games after joining Detroit following his hip surgery. So those moves should boost the offense. But Daniel Sprong, 18 goals. Ricky Fabry, 18 goals. And David Perron, 17 goals are gone as his 56-point defenseman. Oh, Ghostus be here is no longer be here.
Ghostus not be here.
Ghostus is be there now.
Ghostus be there now. Yeah. Yep. He is I believe he's actually in the Metro now. I'm gonna be racking my brain, but
oh yeah, shoot, I didn't think to look it up. I just put a sad face next to
it. Exactly. Oh, he's not there. It's not where he's supposed to be.
Well, we know he's not in Arizona anymore either.
No, he left there.
Yeah. Detroit did sign Eric Gustafson, who had 31 points and was technically better defensively to take his place. Red Wings had inconsistent goaltending last season and therefore have added Cam Talbot and Jack Campbell to the mix. Detroit had to save some money for restricted free agents Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider, who just last week got a 7-year deal worth $8.55 million a year. More on this later. GM Steve Yzerman managed to get Raymond and Seider under contract long-term for less than Captain Dylan Larkin's $8.7 million cap hit.
A lot of moves, making moves. Is the window open now? Are they going to restart a playoff streak there this year?
Hey, here's hoping they could follow they got so close last year. I mean, they had a chance on the last day of the season. I mean, hey, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
And maybe they can follow the Tigers' lead and make it back to the playoffs, just like the Tigers did this week.
There you go.
They won today, 3-1.
Oh my goodness.
And
things in the Motor City. May they always be strange and unpredictable.
They're talking one of the pitchers for AL Cy Young. I'm like, we're not that good. Like, we just barely got a wild card. Like,
you go on a hot streak for 2 months and that happens though.
Tariq Skubal, that guy, yeah.
All right, there you go.
So I mean, maybe they can. And the Lions are doing well. So I mean, maybe just they can get some momentum from all the other teams in the city.
Some good vibes and some good juju, and the winged wheel will be pointed up.
Good vibes, good vibrations.
I can't disagree with your analysis there. I tend to agree. So who's next out in that Atlantic division?
Oh, next, let's see. So we're looking for the 5th team.
Oh, he was talking about Detroit, so all the Swedish voices come out now. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I got Ottawa 5th.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember why. I wrote this all
Now there is some hard-hitting analysis. I have them 5th. God only knows why.
I wrote this all last week. I'm trying to remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first introduction to the Neutral Zone, welcome in. We are here to entertain you, and maybe you'll learn something about hockey along the way.
I think it was because I wanted to be a Mountie when I was a kid. That's probably why.
That'll work. That'll work.
Well, they were 7th last year. 37, 41, and 4, had 78 points. I'm picking him for 5th this year. Allmark, mostly because of Allmark, I think. Gives him an upgrade in net over Corpusalo. Finally pulled the plug on trading defenseman Jacob Chychrun, landing second pairing defenseman Nick Jensen. They got David Perron from Detroit and Michael Amadio from Vegas. That will boost their secondary scoring. They also signed Stanley Cup winner Nick Cousins on a 1-year deal. Travis Green was also named head coach, and this guy gives him a B for the offseason moves.
All right. Okay. So you've got some 15 goal scorers there that'll help on the second and third line scoring there. That absolutely helps.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
I think Allmark's the main reason I put him 5th, though.
Hey, goalies do that. So all right. I don't know that I'd go quite that high on him, but okay, I can follow the train there.
Sure.
I can follow the train. Next up,
Toronto. A.
Oh, a big fall for the Leafs. Oh no.
What was the thing you sent me? Oh my god, it was so funny.
Oh, yes, it was it John Tavares? It was someone for the Maple Leafs was
we're gonna have to be in a playoff form every night of the season.
We have to treat every game this year like it's game 7. Leafs fans everywhere. Oh god, we're going 0-82.
Oh, that was so great.
Don't put that on us. Don't put that on us.
They're all over there like, no, don't you dare. Like,
no. Quick, burn some syrup or something.
Yeah, right. Not some incense, not smudging, just syrup.
I mean, heck, or just eat it. I mean, that is delicious. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Okay. So they changed captains from Tavares to Austin Matthews. I just assumed that's because Tavares retired, but I guess not. If you're saying if he already has a quote for this year.
I do not remember if it was Tavares or not. I will be honest.
Oh.
I was trying to I remembered the quote, just not to whom to give it credit.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So maybe I guess he's still around, and so maybe they just needed some new blood to be captain. They were, they're 3rd in the division last year, going 46, 26, and 10 with 102 points. I'm picking them to go 6th. They changed coaches from Sheldon Keefe to former Stanley Cup winner Craig Berube, who won it with St. Louis back in 2019. Going back to the whole retread argument.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. No kidding.
Yeah. He preaches accountability, which is important to a team that has had trouble advancing in the playoffs. You don't say. Oh.
Yeah. Tell us something we didn't know.
Right. GM Brad Treliving also boosted the defense with shot blocking Tanev. Oh, he's got crazy eyes. He's got crazy eyes on the team now.
Fun.
Oh, Brandon Tanev. He takes every team picture day as if you make it look like he sees ghosts all the time.
All the time.
He got Tanev, and Cup winner Ekman Larson from Florida. He brought back Max Domi and signed Stellaris to back up the off-injured Joseph Woll. He gives him a B.
Yeah. I would put them higher up personally, but hey, these are your rankings. You go with them.
All right, so almost there. 7, I got Buffalo.
The Sabres.
Yes.
Are they going to be ready to take any kind of a jump this year, do you think? Or are they behind the 8 ball still?
They were 6th last year. They finished 39, 37, and 6 with 84 points. Bring back coach Lindy Ruff was their best move. Sabres coach last time they made the playoffs in 2011. So tonight we're gonna party like it's 2011.
That does not work for the tune
No,
at all.
no,
No.
no.
That just we got to workshop that one.
So I guess maybe it wouldn't necessarily bring back the same good feelings, but
No.
Yeah, that's just it. He had better players back then. Sabres got a speedy penalty killer in Ryan McLeod, but give up 2022 first round picks Matthew Savoie to land him. Buffalo bought out Jeff Skinner and could use a top 6 forwards. This guy gives him a C+.
Yeah, I think Buffalo may be still a little ways out. Plus the division's it's still a strong division towards the top.
Yeah.
If Buffalo were in the Metro, we'd be having a different conversation. I think Buffalo would be serious contention for a wild card this year if it was in a different division. But that being in the division is going to hurt them. I think it's a little too strong yet.
So the biggest reason they were in the news in the recent 3 years since we started this podcast was because of the Jack Eichel situation, and so they finally found their way out of that mess, if you will.
They've run out of draft picks, if nothing else.
Well, yeah, it's not necessarily a mess, but it was just murky, trying to navigate through that. So yeah, Eichel went to Vegas, and they got draft picks, and they got a couple other people, Krebs and Tuck, and a couple other people, I think, from Vegas in return. So it's been a couple of years now. When would you expect to start seeing dividends on that?
Frankly, now, I feel like they should be paying some dividends. I think there's they're still young in some spots. Owen Power is still young. They've got some pieces. Some of it is the division that they're in, that there's so many good teams in the Atlantic. Some of it is they got to pick it up a little bit. They got to hit the gas pedal on this a little bit. So we'll see how aggressive they want to be. We'll see what they could do to help it. But yeah, I would think Buffalo should have been seeing some more. We should have been talking more about them being in contention more by this point. But they're not there yet. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe this will be the year and they will do it. Maybe they will just be another one of those Atlantic Division teams that just is, wow, somebody's got to finish second in this. They can't all win it,
Right. Well, yeah, that's just it. They could come out of nowhere.
Yep.
Lastly, I've got Montreal.
Wah.
Which, yeah, you talk about this being such a strong division, and I remember Montreal going all the way to the Cup a couple of years ago with the COVID divisions.
That was 3 years ago. Yeah, it was 3 calendar years ago anyway. It was 4 seasons ago, basically.
Yeah, but the only reason they made it is because the divisions were separate and they weren't in such a stacked division. They had just the Canadian teams in the same division. They made it through the playoffs and everything, but yeah,
they took out a division rival, didn't they? Now I'm blanking off the top of my. Now I'm trying to just shoot from the hip here, but anyway.
I don't remember the whole pathway, but no, it just made me think of that when you said it was such a stacked division, and it's like it's hard to be able to move up in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give them. They were 8th last year. I have them going 8th again. They were 30, 36, and 16 last year with 76 points. They did trade for Patrick Laine, so that could have a major payoff if he returns to the form he was in when he was in Winnipeg. They even got a 2nd round pick in the deal for taking on his whole salary. Young team that's been growing together. Montreal gave an 8-year extension to 2022 number 1 overall pick, Juraj Slavkovsky.
Yes, we're gonna go with it.
I think you automatically just got to go with the Sean Connery when you say that. Juraj Slavkovsky.
Hey, there you go. There you go. There you go.
After he experienced a 40-point jump in his 2nd season.
So this guy gives him a B.
You know, some solid. Now, line A, I believe, as producer Jed is reminding us, line A may be out for a while with an injury. So they got to deal with that, and then you got to deal with his commitment level to playing when he comes back. But yeah, it hopefully is a move that will pay dividends for them in the long run. The 76 points. I just want to remind myself of a thing here. The 72 points or the 76 points. Yeah, that would have been that would have been good for a little bit higher in basically every other division. It's not good enough to win any other division by any stretch, but they wouldn't have been in the basement in any of the other divisions with that standings a year ago. And in fact, in the Pacific, they would have been sixth in the Pacific.
Just to speak to how difficult the Atlantic is. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, some strength there. So
okay,
so yeah, a strong division on the whole. Do you think you're going to see both wild cards come out of this division, or they only send one?
Oh man, I think they only send one. I mean, there's just too many other good teams in the Metro as well.
I like it.
Good.
All right, let's take a very fast little break, and then I am going to get us through the Metro division like you have never seen before. It's going to be the craziest thing you have ever heard. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach back with you here for a few more minutes tonight. Zach did an awesome job breaking down the Atlantic division. Now let's jump on over to the Metro division, the other division in the Eastern Conference. To say that it's not quite as deep of a division as the Atlantic is, putting it mildly, shall we? I'm actually going to take the opposite direction of you, Zach. I am going to start more towards the bottom and work my way up.
Sure.
Got to start.
More drama that way.
yeah. We'll go with that. And it allows me time to, think. We'll start at the bottom. Unfortunately, that means I have to start things off with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh
my goodness, the Gaudreau tragedy. Just what can we say that hasn't already been said? Hearts out to the entire Gaudreau family, to everybody with the Columbus organization and the Calgary organization, frankly, to everybody there. Just a devastating news from just a few weeks ago. It was terrible. From a hockey perspective, the NHL is allowing the Blue Jackets that they don't have to quite clear the salary floor for a little while because they all of a sudden obviously have to replace a massive salary. I didn't think the Blue Jackets are going to be all that great this season. I don't know how they could take hockey seriously until at least January because for the first 2-3 months, anytime the first game is going to be devastating of all the memorials and all the tributes and everything there. And then anytime they go on the road, the first time they stop somewhere, they have to relive that night after night after night after night of well-meaning and well-deserved and heartfelt. We're here for you. We're sorry for you. We want to help you through this, but it's still, you're going to have to go through that night after night after night until January at least. So it's going to be a long season in Columbus. I can't see them finishing anything other than 8th. If they do, nobody is going to be more excited. There's no team that hockey fans are going to be more excited for than Columbus if they overcome that and have any kind of a close to a playoff season. The hockey community is going to go crazy for that. It's going to be something we're all going to be rooting for this year. Next up for the Metro division, the Flyers. The Flyers were a surprise. Looked like they might make the playoffs last year until a collapse towards the end. I think that team that we saw more towards the end of the season that only won 7 times in its last 21 games, I think that's more the team that I think that was more the real Flyers than the Flyers we saw earlier in the year, primarily because they had arguably the worst goaltending in the NHL a year ago, and they really didn't do anything to fix it. So they're going to be dealing with net front problems all season. Now, some of that is because they were trying to get a young kid in from Russia and just frankly couldn't because Russia said no, he's not coming. And when what Russia says, Russia gets when it comes to that kind of thing. So maybe we'll see an increase there, but I think the Flyers are going to be in for a very long, very rough season this year. Let's see next. A team that I think we could see take a little bit of a dip from a year ago with the Metro. I think the Capitals. They were a playoff team a season ago, but that was arguably the worst playoff team we have ever seen. My goodness. You want to talk about a team that didn't belong to be there. It was the Washington Capitals. And they're a year older. They haven't done a ton what they're trying to do is they're trying to get Ovechkin that record. They're trying to get Ovechkin to break Gretzky's all-time goal scoring record. And if they play a competitive brand of hockey along the way, great. If they don't, oh well, but they need to, their goal is to keep as many competent players around him so that Ovechkin can do that. And I don't think that's going to translate to a whole lot of success on the season. Next up, I'll take the Carolina Hurricanes to take a little bit of a drop. And that's primarily because they've lost several key pieces, including one Teuvo Teravainen, who comes home to Chicago. I love and appreciate that. But they lost quite a few players from a season ago, and I feel like the Hurricanes could be poised to take a dip. I think they could be looking at going backwards a little bit this season. I would not be surprised. They've been so good for so long. And yes, they've still got Sebastian Aho. They've still got talent. They've still got good players there, but I think they lost some key cogs. They are It's going to be difficult to maintain that style of our version of defense is simply to play more offense, to just possess the puck and play keep away. I think that's going to be a lot harder for them to do this season, which is going to expose some difficulties and relative inexperience in their defense. And I think that's going to lead to them giving up more goals than they'd like and that they can overcome. And it could result in some problems for the Hurricanes. So I'll actually take the Hurricanes next there. A team that
here.
Go ahead.
Figured out where Ghostisby here is now here.
Yeah, Ghostisby here now. Yeah,
Ghostisby here now is now in Carolina.
Yeah, that's right. I knew I'd come across his name somewhere in the Metro.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead.
Rod Brindamore got a contract extension, and he always gets the best out of his players, so that should help too.
It'll help, but I still feel like this could be a team poised for a little bit of a dip. One team that I do think that is going to be poised and looking up a little bit will be the Pittsburgh Penguins. And this is one that could anger some people because they didn't make the playoffs a year ago, and they didn't do much to add a lot. But Sidney Crosby is still an elite player in this league, and one of the reasons that the Penguins struggled so much last year, I should say, their special teams were not very good. They were 30th in the NHL in power play. They weren't very good at it. With Sidney Crosby and Malkin and etc. there in Pittsburgh, you should be better than that. You know, it shouldn't take a whole lot, just some minor tweaks and adjustments. And if they can get just even league average on their power play, that's going to add up to some more wins. That's going to add up to moving up the standing a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if I also wouldn't be surprised if the Penguins go the other way completely. That Father Time catches up to them and skate blades break everywhere on the ice, and they're tripping over their own beards, and all those kinds of things are happening with them, and they look like an old hockey team. It would not shock me, but I would not be surprised if we see one last gasp out of this crew and see a bit of a playoff run by the Penguins this year. I'm looking at the time, and I don't want to. We don't want to go too much over. We've got Sin City Sports coming up right after us, so I don't want to dive into him. So I'll just real quickly dive through the end of the division here. The two New York teams, the Rangers are definitely better than the Islanders, but the Islanders should do well enough to make the playoffs again. I like the Islanders. I don't necessarily like the Islanders well enough to make a playoff run necessarily, but I like the Islanders to return to the playoffs, especially in this division where it's not super tough, super strong. I like the Islanders to make a return to the playoffs. The New Jersey Devils are a fascinating team. We have seen them be absolutely terrible, to be one of the best teams in all of hockey, to be just kind of there last year. I think what we saw last year from them was probably, I think the real Devils are somewhere between where they were last year and the team the year before that, which should be good enough to be a playoff team, should be good enough to make some contention. You know, you've still got Hughes in there making noise. They now have a full off season with their new head coach that can generate some good feelings and some good vibes and just some consistency there. I like the Devils to be a contender. I like the Rangers out of this division. And I like the Rangers to come out of the Eastern Conference. I was talking with Ricky, the host of New York, of our New York show, about this. It's now or never for the Rangers. This is it. This is the time to go and We saw them come so close last year, losing to Florida in the Eastern Conference Final. I think this is the year for the Rangers. I think Zibanejad and company, I like them. I like them to go ahead, and I know it was a long playoff and you could see some struggle there. I've listened to some New York Ranger guys talk about how they're not really, maybe not necessarily built to win the division. They are built more for, let's get into the tournament. That is the playoffs, and then go from there. I'm going to pick them to win the Metro anyway. I like the Rangers out of the Metro. I like the Rangers to win that division. And I like the Rangers to win the East and make it to the Stanley Cup final. And then we'll see who they get out of the Western Conference next week.
Very good. Very good.
What do you think? How'd I do?
Yeah, you did spectacular.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. There we go. Am I just horribly wrong on anything?
Oh, no, not at all. You're not in left field on anything. I mean, it all seems plausible.
All right. I will take it. The internet has opinions, though. If you disagree with anything either Zach or I said, put it in the comments, put it in the chat rooms. Let us know. We love the interaction. We want to hear from you, and we'll have some fun back and forth. Maybe we'll drop the Dukes or something. We'll come up with something to do with it. So thank you all for tuning in. This was the first episode of this season. That'll do it. We will light the lamp and sound the horn. We made it through the first episode. We survived 1 week. Woo. Next week, we will break down the Western Conference, the Central Division, the Pacific Division. There'll be honest-to-goodness games to break down, too. We'll have to go through those. That'll be some fun, too. Shout-outs and thank yous to our sponsors, starting, of course, with Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. You can find them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. The jerky that's on a whole other planet. Also, thank you to Seal the Deal Wax Seals. You can place your orders there on iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Thank you to them. Thank you to IE Sports Radio for providing the platform from which we get to talk into these microphones and have some fun. Check us out, iesportsradio.com. All the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, iHeartRadio, Facebook, anywhere the socials are. You can find us anywhere where you get your podcast as well. They're all there for you. Thank you to Larry B, the czar and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio. Thank you to Jen B for producing the show tonight, doing an outstanding job keeping up with all the color changes we were going through, all of those different themes. Thank you, Jen, for doing that. Thank you to everybody for hanging out in the chat room with us tonight. Mike Guns, Larry B was in the house tonight as well. Thank you for that. Finally, thank you for listening, whether this was your first time ever interacting with us or you've been along for now all 4 seasons. Thank you for being here and making this part of your sports week. We're looking forward to having fun with you every single week of the hockey season. For IE Sports Radio, he is Zach Bumpus. I am Adam Carnett. Between us, we are the Neutral Zone. We will see you next week. Until then, Zach, what do we always tell the people?
Stay out of the penalty box, protect the 5-hole, and the lights go away.
Sounds good. We'll see you next week.